Thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout, and we're reaching you from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. And I still have the Metro Babajide Kolade Otitoju in the studio and Mojid Jamiu. Jide, before the Court of Appeal ruled the last time, and everybody, the attention was actually shifted after the election. Attention was shifted to the judiciary, and a lot of people have been saying that the way regularly governments look at the welfare and remuneration of lawmakers, National Assembly members, executive members, and everything, that the same thing to do that for some time now is as if the judiciary is in kind of the least paid attention to in these three arms of government.
No doubt about it. The Court of Appeal, for example, is the biggest court in the country. It has 90 justices, 4,000 staff, and 20 divisions.
20?
Yes. For this reason, it is the most critical court. They are the ones who handle election petitions at state and National Assembly level, as well as presidential. So all the categories of those elections, it is the appeal court judges.
Very busy.
Yes. So for 6 months, an appeal court judge will leave his own division, go elsewhere to handle election-related cases. And they spend a minimum of 2 billion to pay their allowances, pay the allowances of their clerical staff, their drivers, and all those people, because when those judges move, their staff move with them. You have to provide the stationery for them. In some cases, they even hire, rent courtrooms for them, because some of the courtrooms are not conducive, no fans in them. So it is the capital component of the work that they do is very huge, because the responsibility itself is huge and the court is big, no doubt about it. But the court has continued to be underfunded. And when you continue to underfund the court, how does it find the money to execute its functions, dispense justice creditably? It has become so bad that some judges, when they elevate them from the high court to the appeal court, they don't feel like leaving. For example, if you are a judge in Lagos State, the conditions here are much better than other states. You don't feel like leaving. If you are a judge serving, if you are a high court judge serving in Rivers State, you've seen the kind of buildings that Wike built for judges. See how conducive those buildings are. And they have accommodation, they have everything. And he's ready to fight for the welfare of the judges. Even when the DSS tried to arrest some judges, he stood in the way. So how many high court judge will get an elevation to Abuja and from Rivers State or from Lagos State and will feel excited, I'm going? Very few of them, because the condition, the working condition in Abuja for a lot of them is inferior to the condition in the state that they are living. So if you are saying you are elevating a judge to the appeal court, the signs of elevation have to be there. If the kind of vehicle that is using, that he was using as high court judge in the state, when he gets to Abuja, you will discover that it is still the same kind of vehicle, or even inferior. So some of them won't feel that elevation has really happened. So we can't continue to treat judges in the manner that we are treating them, including the appeal court judges, that in my view are very, very important because of the role that they play and the size of the court itself. So something has to be done. Someone like President Obasanjo Tinubu, who in Lagos set the high standard in terms of welfare of judges. We saw judges being provided with posh cars for the first time.
Yeah.
And many of them, were really happy about that. President Tinubu is the president now. We want to see that replicated at the national level. If we are saying we want an independent judiciary, a judiciary in which the judges will freely give judgment from the inner recesses of their hearts, then the things that they need, the tools that they need, have to be provided. Their budget has to be sufficient to cater to those multiple needs, which we'll talk about as we go on.
No, it's a matter of concern that courts are not properly funded. What are the implications of this?
The appeal court, like Jide said earlier, is the largest court in Nigeria with 20 divisions. Now, we have a few of them who are close to us, and when they talk about what they are going through, you will pity some of these justices. Most of them serve away from their homes. And I think what the government needs to do, there is autonomy of the judiciary. Their own allocation is on first line charge, but the funding is still not enough because, take for example, ICT is very, very important. We have some conflicting judgments in some instances, but they are advocating now that all the 20 divisions must be interconnected so that a judge that is given
an injunction here,
an injunction in Kano, I mean, it is.
Everybody
knows that there is this.
Court of Appeal in Kano has given that injunction.
So it's not
getting the same injunction.
That is it. You are not granting some frivolous injunctions. You see, as the injunction is being granted in Kano, the person in Ado-Ekiti or Ibadan or Benin division is seeing it online real time. So, like, it's easier for those who deliver their judgment in Kano today to do it via Zoom. The three of them were in different locations, and they were all synced. They delivered via Zoom. So the ICT department should be well funded. Like, I'm happy that we have a president who did it in Lagos at the federal level now. So this call is at the appropriate time. We want Tinubu to replicate what he did for the judiciary in Lagos at the federal level, not just at the appellate court. Now, they have 90 as we speak, but there is already a 10-man vacancy at the Supreme Court, which means between 5 and 10 of them will be upgraded to the Supreme Court. Although I think the Supreme Court allows for people to come, for justices to come from some other places apart from the appeal court. That's why the CJN, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, has requested for application for those who think they can serve on the bench of the Supreme Court to apply. So they have 10 positions to fill, which will further deplete the number in the appellate court. So the way judges are being treated in some states, it is the state governments that come to their aid, like Rivers. And I could remember sometime in Ondo State and Ekiti State, it was the state government that furnished the apartments of the justices of the Court of Appeal so that they could have a conducive environment to work. They were not willing to work in those two states because the quarters they built for them were empty. So Then there are medicals both during and post-service, because by the time you allow somebody to spend the active parts of his years, the judges now retire at the age of 70. And after they retire, I think one of the conditions should be that they should be entitled to medical service for life. Honestly, because for you to retire at 70, you need to see what they go through. I saw some of the documents during the presidential election petition delivered the judgment. Some of the documents, very, very voluminous. 12 hours from 9 a.m., no, from 9:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. They only had a 15-minute break. You can imagine the stress on their brains. And how do we repay them? They have 18 departments in that court. Then they need to strengthen the appointments and promotions to the appeal court, whereby it is only those justices that really deserve that position on merit that should get into that place. So these are some of the things that the government needs to look into.
Let's talk a little about training. Any good judge is a product of good training from experience. Now, why should training be prioritized?
Of course, you can see different interpretations to the Electoral Act, for example. Judges are more brilliant than one another. A good judge is a product of good training. In fact, what the appeal court has done is to bring in senior judges, retired judges, to help train some of the appeal court judges. Because when you hear some judgments, you'll be embarrassed, because you then ask, is this person properly grounded? That is why the training is important. Appeal court judges are entitled to a training abroad in a year. But if you are lucky to go for training once in 3 years, if you go for training once in 3 years, you will thank your stars. Because, again, because of lack of funding, sufficient funding, these trainings are not regular. The trainings are usually consolidated with their, with their medicals.
Yeah.
Usually consolidated with their medicals.
So that when they go for training,
yes, they can then use that to do their medicals. Yeah. But these things are not coming as they should because of paucity of funds. And judges who are constantly writing longhand, is reflecting badly on their health. There's a particular judge who has shoulder issue. It's already been traced to years of... Why should judges of courts of record still be writing in longhand? So this training, when you already, you know that these judges, this is their entitlement. Even if when we talk about the accommodation, in Abuja, when I went to Abuja, I saw the judges' quarters in Gudu district. Honestly, by protocol, judges and senators are at the same level. Appeal court judges and senators, they are at the same level. But senators will not accept to go and stay in those judges' quarters. Apart from that, it's not even sufficient for them. They don't have enough accommodation to go around these people. So there are many things that need to be addressed. You address the matter of their training. Is the entitlement of a judge to be trained both locally and abroad, tied to their the matter of their medicals. Government has to address that. But the situation in which there is paucity of funds, you then have a situation in which there is no money for them to go for training as much as they deserve. Then let's talk about even the wages. In September 2021, the President of the Court of Appeal, Monica, Justice Monica Dongba Mensem, lamented that the salaries of judicial officers and staff have not been reviewed since 2008. Since 2008. Now, they are among the poorest paid in Africa and even in the continent. Let me give you an idea of their salary. The president of the Court of Appeal, her salary is 206,425 monthly.
Sorry? Wow.
Yes. President of the Court of Appeal, 206,425 naira monthly. The justices, other justices of the court, their own salary is 166,285. This is not fiction. No, it was the president of the court that said this. Then the chief justice of the federation, the CJN, his own salary is 279,497 monthly. That's Ariwola. Other justices of the Supreme Court bench, their salary is 206,000, exclusive of allowances and benefits. So the last time their salaries were reviewed was in 2008. And we've had other categories of public servants have their salaries reviewed, but since 2008, judicial workers, judicial officers have not had their salaries reviewed. When she complained, the former president said, okay, that they were going to do something about it. I waited and waited until the former president left office. It was not done. It was not done. So how do you create a situation in which judicial officers, judges of the Court of Appeal, are this poorly paid? When you do this, you are encouraging corruption. Because this is not a salary that can take anybody home. In today's Nigeria, people of that cadre, they are entitled to 3 vehicles. Some have only one. The one that they have, some have used it for like 8 years. So it's a terrible thing. If we want the best, we want to get the best out of them, and we want them to be incorruptible, we want them to do their work diligently and with fear of God, the things that they deserve have to be provided.
All right. I think we have a caller. Thank you for staying with us. Oh, we lost it. MJ, talking about the salary, did you just feel that the salary now, Nigerian judges are among the poorest paid in Africa?
It's not just ridiculous. It's not just ridiculous. It is scandalous. Because I've heard what those at the state level earn, and I was like, oh, this is an exaggeration. This is the man, they are trying to be funny. But you know, even if government claims that, yes, we provide accommodation for them, we provide transport, do you feed them? Do you pay for their children's school fees?
Can this pay the school fees?
Can this pay the school fees of one child?
206,000.
Even in
president of Court of Appeal.
even in a federal university, this salary cannot sustain a child in a federal university, a student.
So especially in the light of increases that we are seeing.
Yes. So the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission should, as a matter of urgency, do something about the salaries and allowances of our, of our judges. Senators take 13 million every month as allowances.
It's probably even higher now.
It's probably higher as allowances. The other day, their so-called prayer
sent to their boxes.
Sent to their boxes. We have now confirmed that it's 2 million naira, which they now said is leave bonus. So if you are paying, and your leave bonus is supposed to be 10% of your basic salary. So the basic salary of these judges, now let's assume is 300,000. 3 times 12 is 36, 3.6 million. So 10% of that will be 360,000 naira as their leave bonus. Let us assume that it is 300,000.
Bonus.
No. They told us it is leave bonus. So I want to assume. So this is different from constituency allowances and other allowances.
Why
that
should the
our
senator
National
be
Assembly
treated
members
better than the president of the Court of Appeal?
And then the Court of Appeal.
President of the Court of Appeal collecting 206,000 naira a month.
A governor takes 1.2 million
Supreme
naira.
Court judge earning 206,000 a month. Because the Supreme Court judge is on the same level with the president of the Court of Appeal.
Yes. It's number
So what are we
hierarchy
talking
is
about?
number 5.
This is their salary.
Yes.
The CJN is on 279.
Yes. And that's
497.
number 5 on the hierarchy.
497.
So I think the last time this was reviewed was 2008. 2008.
Yes.
So why are they still write it in longhand?
It's because of the slowness. I mean, they need to embrace technology. Apart from Lagos, where you see the semblance of modern courts, you need to see some courtrooms in some of the states in this country. You see some courtrooms. There's nothing will make you believe that this is a courtroom, because no fan, no proper ventilation. The place is just is old.
Let's take this call. Adewale is calling us from Ibadan. Yes, Wale, thank you for staying with us.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening,
Good
Wale.
evening.
Yes. Please, I just want to confirm maybe what Kolade Otitoju is saying about all these judges are true. Are they really is that their take home?
Yes, that is what
Are you
Take it in
telling
the
me?
bag. Adewale.
that is what the president of the Court of Appeal said back then in September 2021. If you Google it, you will see the story.
Most of us in Nigeria, we should be seeking forgiveness from the God Almighty.
Honestly,
Because all this corruption, we think all these judges are I just don't know, because I'm just hearing this for the first time.
oh, it's the truth.
That's what
It's the truth.
Of the whole federation are taking this. In fact, I think we are in a very, very messy situation in this country.
Thank you,
If you
Adewale.
remember,
It's shocked.
if you remember the matter of welfare of judges, the fact that they are unable to go on training regularly was what brought down the former CGN.
Yes.
No, former CGN Tanko.
Yes.
Because his colleagues rose against him. That's that letter that later leaked.
Yeah.
They said, what is all this? We can't go. And they are entitled to go, even go with their aides. Go and rest abroad with their aides. What we have, judges, each of those 90 justices of the Court of Appeal, they are entitled to 4-bedroom duplex with boys' quarters, guest chalets, 3 vehicles, and domestic staff. But they don't have it.
You know what they do now?
They don't have.
It is some agencies of government that come to their aid in terms of training, overseas training, like the NNPC, PTDF, NCC, AMCON.
Which will not be,
And
they
it
should have their own proper
They should
budget.
have their
for
own
training.
proper budget. The same way state governments are assisting the police with APCs, armored personnel carriers.
That's what how they are.
Yes,
judges.
that's now they are now helping judges. I just said that in some states in the southwest, it is the state governments that furnished the apartments.
Yes.
They were just empty.
Yes. Sometimes they even give their accommodation. Remember the case of a governor who lost a case. And after he lost the case, he went and evicted them from.
Yes, I said he gave them.
Yes.
He gave them accommodation.
One governor from the south.
How can you?
He evicted us. I gave you a house to live in, and you have now gave judgment against me.
Okay.
So he sent them packing.
Charles is calling us from Jalingo, that's in Taraba State. Charles, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, journalist hangout. My greeting to Babajide and the co-host and the other man there. Please, it was very disheartening hearing that our judges earn the Patrick song you just mentioned now.
Yes.
But
I'm shocked that
I'm surprised that you just mentioned that that's their salary, 200 and something. But when you talk about the lawmakers, you are talking about allowances in millions. You should tell us the allowances of the judges added to what their salary is, and then we'll not know what their monthly take home is. So tell us that the
Okay, thank you, Charles.
A senior colleague just sent this to me. He said, I am watching. I don't want to believe that what these judicial officers' salaries I'm hearing. I said, I don't want to believe it.
So, no, but the thing is, there is no, it's public knowledge.
No, of course. I mean,
in 2021, when the Court of Appeal, President came out, it was public knowledge. Anyone coming out of the end of this program, you can even Google the story. It's there.
It's a fact.
Because this afternoon, I still went back and checked what she said back then. And President Buhari even said it that they will have to do something about the salaries of judges. I remember that he said that. But before he left office, it was not done. So since 2008, for those who probably think that, oh, this is concocted, this is not true. What is also true is that since 2008, their salary has not been reviewed. Just like university, ASU, I think ASU, that was last done in 2009.
Yeah. I think professors now earn about 750,000. I mean, even higher than no, it's vice chancellors that earn 750.
No, professors are not up to.
VCs and 750.
Like half a million.
Professors
between 450,
500 for professors, but the VCs 750. Now, I think the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, should, as a matter of urgency, discuss
this with the president.
With the president and summon whoever is the chairman of the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission to come and do something urgently on the issue of these justices. I mean, this is
when some people think that okay, maybe their allowances are humongous and all that. We've already talked about even their entitlements that they don't get. Where you are entitled to 3 vehicles, one of them like a Hilux, sedan, and all that. And you still don't get it. The training is not coming.
Even the facilities that they should use to work. I mean, ICT. They make all the courts, all the divisions in the court, the 20 divisions in the court, are supposed to be interconnected, so that if anybody goes to a particular court,
they shouldn't even be giving conflicting judgments.
No, conflicting judgments.
Courts of concurrent jurisdiction. Posturing as if they are superior to the other.
So, and there's so much discipline in the Court of Appeal in terms of, especially in the judiciary. In the Court of Appeal, you know who the number one is.
Next,
You know who is next. Like
it's just like Olubadan. If Olubadan dies now,
yes.
No will become Olubadan.
So the next person to Monica now is mentioned now is Justice Jimmy Oluka-Odebada. And after that is Justice Folayemi Omoleye. They know the succession, just like in the Supreme Court. So yes. Seniority and hierarchy.
Carried off the story.
Yeah.
Just there.
Look at it. That's the story. I hope the person who called a while ago can see this.
You can see it
so
on the screen.
Look at the date.
So we are not.
Look at the. See, if you go down,
we are not making
that second to the last line before lopsided, you see the salary.
We are not making up
106,285 a month, you know, and then the other one said 206. The appeal court president revealed that she receives the sum of 206,425. That's what she said. I can read it from here.
Yeah.
And that other judges of the court are on 166 or so, 166,285.
He said, the last paragraph here is saying, appeal court president revealed that she received a sum of 206,000, while other justices on the bench of the Court of Appeal go home with 166,285 every month.
There is no lie there. It just looks unbelievable. But in this same country, go and ask Majid, go and ask how much they earn at debt management office. Go and ask how much they earn at NMPC. Some of them earn far more than our president earns.
No.
Some of those places, CBN and all of them. People,
that
there
one
are
is-
people who
they
get
pay-
extortionate wages.
No. They
for
are
doing nothing.
house helps. They get money for house help. Their drivers collect more than these judges. They are drivers
In this same
and they are
country.
domestic servants.
Moji Jami,
These things have to be addressed.
we just feel
honestly.
that the President Bola
No,
Tinubu
but I know the president will find this
replicated
scandalous.
in Lagos
Of
State
course.
again,
Of
and,
course.
for the reforms in the judiciary, the rot is just.
No,
terrible.
well, if they say judges are corrupt, or some judges are taking money, have we encouraged them
Not
by the glaring
Yes, to
ill
I'm
treatment,
telling you.
of these judges, by the glaring underfunding of the
sector.
different arms of the judiciary? I mean, this is unacceptable. The
And that's-
judiciary has to be better funded with immediate effect.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. Join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Usuba. See you tomorrow.